Joining us now in the Sevens Club from the south of France, played with Wolves in TST last year, Bakary Sako. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We were excited to have you. You were on our short list of guests that we had to get right away. One, because you're a superstar. You got 1 million followers on Instagram. People love you. You were a superstar at TST. You scored 2 goals in that one game. So we're happy to have you here, but we'll start with this. You're not playing currently, you're weighing your options. How's the downtime been and being able to spend some quality time with your family?
To be honest, it's been great. It's been great because, last year I've been playing in Greece and I didn't have my family with me because in the city I was, there was no French or English school. So I left them in France. So being able to spend few months with my family was really great for me.
Yeah, now you got your hands full as it gets tough, man. You're like, do I have training right now or what?
Yeah.
Especially when they get a little hectic. But no, that's amazing, man. Did you enjoy your time in Greece though? Like, how amazing is the food and
the life in Greece is amazing, but the football is not the best because I've been used to play in only top leagues.
Yeah.
And the expectation there is not where the club I was not they didn't want to. I want to win every game.
It's the different mentality.
Yes. Yeah.
I
want to win every game, even if you cannot. But the mentality was not we were not on the same page. So I was they offered me a 3-year deal extension, and I was thanks, I really appreciate it, but that's not me. So
that's a credit to you and your mentality though, and where you want to go and where you want to be. So credit to your drive and your mentality. So I mean, I got to see it. I'm trying to remember. I think I played against you when you were at Palace, when I was at Stoke. I think we
probably beat you. Yeah, we beat you a few times.
I was about to say, I think we beat you guys. See, the competition doesn't stop, man. It's just our mindset. It's amazing. Yeah, man. And then obviously I'm pretty sure we beat you at TST though.
We did.
Do we beat at TST? Yeah.
So,
okay.
You got your revenge.
We were like, hey, we just have to make sure we mark him. He's the goal scorer. We got to take him out, and had to put in a few tackles on you.
Yeah,
but I love it, man. It was great competition. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, I loved it. For the first edition, I think TST was brilliant. I really appreciate it, and I had the chance to come with my little one, and I still have the ball down there in my garden, the final ball.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they gave it to my son, so yeah, that was amazing.
And that's cool because now your son associates that, and it's that's the new part of the new generation. The TST is going to grow. It's going to be part of it because it's all of a sudden you were the first, part of that first inaugural, tournament, and now it's going to keep going, and then hopefully one day he'll be playing in it and balling out.
But I'm pretty sure that TST thing will be big. It will be big. Because that first edition was brilliant, and I really loved it there. So I think next year and the year after will be even more.
Well, we gotta make sure. We could do some deals if you want to come to Blade and Grass. What you got, man? You got a team. You don't have a team? Come on over, bro. We got you. We'll win it all. So good, man. So talk to me where we always kind of ask the question, where did you fall in love with the game? What made you start falling in love with football? I like to say football because I spent 10 years there in the UK. I'm a UK citizen. I'm a US citizen, but I like football because it just makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
So when did you fall in love with the game?
You know what? I think I was 6 years old, something like that. I start really early football, and my brother used to play football also, so he taught me about football, stuff like that. So I went to see him playing and that, And when I started, like I saw straight away I had like quality to play football, even though like I never played football in my life, but I
There was
loved it.
something.
Yeah. So I started playing like at the age of 6 in France. And I went to the academy at the age of 14, so like really young also. And yeah, I signed my first professional contract at 17. So everything went like quick. So yeah, since I was young, like I knew like I wanted to be a footballer.
That's amazing.
Like funny story, like I was like in I think I don't know how you call it, like maybe in US or in UK. I think that was like, you know, when you 10 years old at school.
Yeah.
And like the teacher asked me like, hey, what you want to be later? So everyone was saying like, yeah, I want to work in a bank. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to be architect. And I said to him, I want to be a footballer. And he looked at me funny and he said to me like, yeah, but that's not
that's not a profession. That's not a job. Yeah.
And I was like, I was stuck. I didn't know what to say else. And I was like, when I was young, I loved money. So I said to him, yeah, maybe I work in a bank, because when I was young, I felt like when you work in a bank, you can get cash.
Get money.
So that's what I said to him, but I didn't know what else to say. So since very young, I knew like I was.
It's so crazy because it's the same thing. Like on like my high school, middle school, like yearbooks and stuff. They're like, "What do you want to do when you want to grow up?" I want to be a pro soccer player.
Yeah,
you're just like, oh, pro soccer player. And at that time, 38 now. At that time, soccer was like an afterthought. They're like, soccer, it's not going to get you nowhere. Like I had like a middle school teacher tell me like, you're wasting your time. Soccer is not going to go anywhere. And I'm like, dude, like he was a NASCAR fan. He just watched cars going around. I'm like, at least watch Formula One, like, a little bit more engaging essentially. But I was like, no, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a job in the States yet. It wasn't really a profession. It was like, there was a league, but it wasn't really there, And it's just like in your mindset, you're like, you just dream of it. And dude, it gives me chills, because when you hear everybody has those moments and you're like, I dreamed of being a professional footballer. And everybody thinks it's easy, like, oh, once you're there, it's so easy.
But
once you're there, it's the hardest, because you have to maintain that, right? Like, it's always people trying to pull you down. There's distractions all around you, but staying focused and like
down. That's that's what I'm trying to teach to my kids, because like they're playing also football and like they're good at it. But sometimes when they lose or when they have some downs, and I'm trying to teach them like, that's football. That's what, if you want to be a footballer, that's what you're gonna have to deal with like all your life. And they're like, yeah, but we like to win and we like to score. We like to, but that's not how is gonna be like your whole life.
It's like
you're
building their character, right?
Yeah. But
what better is it like for you to teach someone the actual, like, you're doing it, you've done it, and you're still doing it. Like, but use this, use it to fuel you a little bit, and like push you. Like, you don't like that? All right, well, make sure you work harder next game. Or,
of course,
like, I'm having to realize my 4-year-old, like, you're like, I got to pump the brakes. He's 4 years old, but I see the ability in him and he's got the technical ability. It's like, all right, if you want to do it, let's do it right. And I have to slow myself down, because I'm like, he's only 4 years old, but sense it, you can sense it. You're like, holy, if he just, the one thing is that it will be make or break is the mentality. If the mentality goes and he's like, I don't care. Okay, then he'll just be another one of those talented footballers, or whatever, be any athlete he wants. But the difference is those talented players, can they turn that switch on and focus, right?
Of course.
And Sako, when you were growing up, who was the team that you loved or supported? And did you ever get an opportunity to play with them or
PSG?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I had the opportunity to play against them. Like, the first time I played against them was like, I think I was under 19, and I played with the France national team against PSG under 19. So we made like one friendly game, and I was like, you know what? I dreamed to play against those guys, and I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
And then we start playing in the French Premier League, and I play with them, like Ibrahimovic, like player like that. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually on the pitch with them. So
These guys, yeah.
Yeah.
You're pinching
I was
yourself. You're like,
yeah, I was watching them on the TV, and I'm like, I'm actually playing against them. Like, so just do what you gotta do.
who's your favorite player of all time for France?
For France, Zidane.
Ah, yes. My man. My man. For me, best player ever.
Ever,
Ronaldo, Messi, I don't care. Zidane, for me,
You know what?
he changed the game for me.
Yeah,
He changed the game.
They played a few days ago the French national team who won the World Cup 1998 against the FIFA team. I think like 2-3 days ago. And yesterday I was on YouTube watching like a 17-minute video of like this game, and you can steal him. Like he's a magical player. He's just too good.
I was 16 years old, or maybe 15 or 16. And I drove to New Jersey. I'm from Boston, so I drove to New Jersey, and I got to see Real Madrid versus Roma. And it was like the Galacticos, the Zidane, Figo, like, Roberto Carlos. He did shit, and it was like, playing a World Cup, playing these high intense games, and you can, as a kid, you can see it, and you're like, wow, it was just like slow motion. And then you think about it, like, in where you played, and like, he still made it look like effortless.
Yeah.
Like he just would just slide and glide through everybody, and you're like,
he's different. He's different.
What was like the one thing, like, I remember, like, I was like, Zizou is like this guy. What was the one thing that you liked about him that you were like, I want to have that trait, essentially? You know what I'm saying? Like the way he pings a ball, or the way like his touch is.
His ball control, like he could control the ball like from everywhere, like chest, like back heel, like he could do anything. And like I remember in the World Cup against Brazil, I think the goalkeeper threw him the ball with his hand, and like
when he chops it.
Like oh my god, that's crazy.
It was the 1998, right? It was, he wore the gold Predator boots.
Yes,
bro. Literally just manhandled Brazil.
Yeah,
like all by himself.
He was the Brazilian guy on the pitch.
Yes, it was incredible, man. But that really, for me, like, that put him on a map that was like, I remember watching him at Juventus when Del Piero, Paulo Nedved, like going back to like, bro, like all those guys, and you're like, he was a baller for them. And like, he wasn't as big. And then you hear, I saw an interview, it was like, they asked Zidane, who was the best player you played against? And he said, Paul Scholes. And I was like, shit. Because my first experience when I moved to England, I played Man United, and it was like Giggs, Paul Scholes, and that. And I was like, I remember, like, he was so graceful. Like, you could never get near him, never get a touch of the ball. And just to see like that compliment from Zidane to Paul Scholes, I was like, and I didn't really get to see the Paul Scholes because he wasn't as big as Zidane. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just crazy. And it's like, I as a kid, like, I idolized Zidane. He was just, that first experience I saw him, I was just like in absolute awe, I'm glad to see we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Sako, you think he could play in TST?
Who, Zidane?
Yeah.
He'll win TST easily if he play.
So maybe we get you, Zidane. We get a blade of grass. Sweet, bro.
I'm trying to get Paul Scholes also, so we make the
Let's do it. I'm mates with Steven Nzonzi. I'll give Steven Nzonzi a call. Say, hey, I'm sure you know him, French national team player, so you'd be like, hey, get all the guys in. It's like a mixture of, we'll just walk through it. Andrew, you want to sort that out?
I'll sort it out. We're gonna make just a crazy all-star team. Sako, you're gonna have to be the captain though, because you're gonna connect all these. You and Jeff are gonna be the connection between Blade and Grass and France.
I'm too shy to be captain. Like I lead on the pitch, but I cannot have like the armband. It's too big for me.
What's your how are you like mentally and physically on and off the field? Like, are you the player super disciplined, focused for 24/7? So you have training the next day. You're dedicated, because I mean, you're 34 years old. You're still like taking a little break now, getting yourself ready for the window. I mean,
like right now,
that's hard to do,
Right now, yes. Before, when I was younger, I used to play only with my talents. So I was like, I can sleep like maybe a little bit late, but right now, when you get older, like you make sure like everything you eat is good for you. You get like enough rest, enough sleep. Like you do your pre-workout, you do like your post-workout, everything. And that's funny because I was like, when I was young and I was seeing like older players doing it, and I was like, why are you doing all of this stuff? Just go on the pitch and play football.
Yeah.
And when you get older, you're like, oh, you know what? I need to be careful. I don't want to be injured, stuff like that. So right now, it's been a few years late. I'm very careful.
I guarantee you'll do the same thing for your son, like where that mindset. And it's literally the same. Like, it's like, imagine, I always think, I'm like, imagine if I had that mentality. When I was younger and my guidance, what could have happened or where could I have gone? And it's like getting that 1 or 2% and like improving yourself. And it's like the woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, but it's like you learn it as you get older. And our job is, as you get older, is to give advice to the young guys and the generations. And that's why you see, like.
But that's the hardest part, because when you're young, you're like, I don't need all of this. Like I just want to play football. I just want to get on the pitch, get a feel of the ball. But if you can do all of the stuff like earlier in your career, I'm sure 100% like your career will be better. Yes.
Those are the ones that will be challenging the Ronaldos and Messis. And you think, what they've done. Shit, man. I love it, man. This like really like just talking about this kind of stuff, like it's in your heart. It's in your mindset.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. So what else, man? Like what's going on? Like, Andrew, what do you got?
So this is what I got. Sako, we talked a little bit before about some of the ideas that you have, where you'd want to play, what you'd want to do. League aside, what country or what city that you haven't been to would you be interested in playing in? Maybe it's, a city in Europe that you didn't get to play for, or a city in England that you didn't get to play for. Like, what are some of your dream locations?
I've only been playing in Europe in my career. So maybe US or I don't know, maybe Qatar. Like, I want to see something different,
Different.
I've been in France for like 8 years. Then I played in UK for like 10 years. I played 1 year in Cyprus, 1 year in Greece. So now I want to see something like completely different. So I had few offers like coming from like Asia, like China, stuff like that. But the thing is, like, I'm with my wife and my 2 kids, and I think living in China won't be great for them. So I want something where they can feel happy. And even me, like going into training every morning with the smile on my face, like, finish on a good note. I think that's what matters the most.
I like that, man. Well, I like the idea you come to the States and then, you do a little dip in with the TST, Blade and Grass, go from there. And then we run the show, man.
Sako, I actually have another question about TST, because you mentioned your son earlier. I'm sure that, you're used to where you go with your son. You're kind of the biggest star that's in the room. But you had guys like, Chad Ochocinco, who's a legendary NFL player at TST. Chris Paul is one of the best NBA players. Steve Nash. Was your son like keen in on how cool that kind of stuff was, or was he just happy to be with dad at a football tournament?
To be honest, it's like the new generation was like, he didn't know them. He was like about, the Dortmund guy, Noah Beck. you know, because he's on social media, stuff like that. Yeah, you know, he knew him, and I was like, I don't even know him. Who is that? He's like, yeah, he's on TikTok. He's on this. He's got millions of. I was like, I don't even know him. I was like watching Chris Paul with like big eyes because I know him, Steve Nash. I was like, those guys are legend. And you're talking about like someone I don't even know. Like maybe he's big, but he's
there was no, you couldn't relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to see one of the Dortmund game. And I grabbed I said, you know what, my kids, my son knows you, so can we get a picture? So my son took a picture with him, and he was like
over the moon.
And same thing happened to me when I saw Chris Paul. Like I was like, I saw him, I was like, can we get a picture, please?
Yeah. Does it feel weird when you ask for pictures though?
Yeah. Because I used to like I'm the one who like people like want to
take pictures.
Yeah, and I'm very shy, so I'm not used to asking. So I think I took picture, I think maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. And the second time was like on my way back from TST. I went to Bali with my wife, and we stopped in Dubai. And I saw Clarence Seedorf on a plane.
Oh,
and you know, I had goosebumps. And my wife was like, what's happening to you? And I said, don't talk to me. You cannot understand what
Yeah.
I was like, I said, I gave my phone to her, and I said, Clarence, sorry to disturb you. I know we're on the plane. Can we take a picture? And he was like, yeah, of course, man. So I took a picture of him. I was like, oh my, and my wife was like, shocked.
You did it though. I'm so mad at myself because there was like, I remember as a kid, I did a project, like Juventus was my team, right? Like there's only 2 teams you could watch, AC Milan or Juventus.
Yeah.
There was a few Premier League teams that you could watch when you're in the States. So one of my, sit and destroy, like my career, I played defensive midfield, I played center half, and Edgar Davids was like my dude. I just loved his, like, he was just hard-nosed, just simple, got it, just ball, right?
Yeah.
And seeing him at Tottenham, and I kind of see him around London a bit. And it was one night he was at a restaurant, Zuma, and I was like, that's Edgar Davids. I'm like, I want to take a picture with him, but he's sitting there with his wife or whoever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be that guy because, like, it's the same people like might think the same with me, and I'm like, and I've always been like, I have no problem taking pictures. Like that's like as a kid, you want to give back, right? Like I don't want to be the guy say, no, I'm not taking pictures. I'm not that asshole, right? And I'm not even as big as you, right? But it's like I dreamed. Like I remember there was that instance, like he was playing for Juventus. He came out to Providence, Rhode Island. He was playing at Brown University. I was at the field doing a fitness session, getting myself ready for preseason for college.
Yeah.
And Juventus walks off the bus. Edgar Davids, he literally just walks off comes to the pitch and starts juggling the ball with me. And I'm like, and it's just my other mate. And we're just kicking the ball around. I'm like, shit.
Wow.
I'm kicking the ball around. So then you fast forward like 15, 20 years. I'm playing in England and I'm seeing him on a night out. And I'm like, dude, you inspired me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I regret not having the balls or just to like, you know what? I wish I took a picture with him because that's like that's a special moment, and it was just one of those things. But that's so cool, man, that you got that. It's just
I think I had the chance. I took a picture with Casillas.
Yep.
Seedorf, Chris Paul, and Raúl.
Oh.
Yeah. When I was playing in France, I was about to sign for the German club Schalke 04.
Yeah.
So they invited me like to see one Champions League game. I remember they play against Bucharest. So I went there, we were like in the saloon, stuff like that. And at the end of the game, like he walks up and I was like, oh my, I was my brother. And I was like, that's Raúl. So, if I sign there, I will play with Raúl.
Imagine.
And I said to my brother, can you take me? He said, but maybe in 2 weeks you'll play with him. So why you want to take a picture of him? I was like, bro, are you crazy or what?
Just let me get the picture. But so it's true though, because it's those people that inspired us, right? Like
Yeah.
those people that we idolized, and
Yeah, they are legends. They are legends.
and then you know what the thing is, they'll always be legends. You know?
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like the beginning of it. I just finished watching the Real Madrid. I think it was an Apple TV, just like when they just won the Champions League and whatever, and just to see the process of everything and how Carlo Ancelotti and like just how he manages players. And you always hear, you know, like a former teammate, he was at Real Madrid, came to Stoke, played with them for a couple years. He struggled at Stoke. Now he's back at Real Madrid, Yosselu, and he's dropping, he's balling,
making goals.
and he started his career at Real Madrid. And you're like, this guy is on the biggest stage playing for Real Madrid again. And you're like,
Yeah.
this is mental. You know, it's just like, but it gives you goosebumps talking about that. You know, it's just the love of it, and that's it. The love of the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This sport is different. It's different.
Nothing like it in the world, man. Just like TST, right?
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Nothing like. Yeah.
All right, Sako,
Well,
I got one final question from me, and it has to do with the sport being different and being special. Are you a big France national team fan, or is it different for you because you've been involved with the organization? You maybe know some of the guys, or are you wearing your France hat, France jersey, you know, during the World Cup?
Of course. I went to Russia to watch the final, France against Croatia, with my son. So we actually saw that, like, the French national team winning the World Cup. And I'm like, sometimes I keep asking him, like, do you still remember, like, we saw, like, the French national team winning the World Cup? And he's like, yeah, Dad, I remember. But I remember him, like, you know, he was only 4 or 5. And, like, after, like, 60 minutes, he start, like, falling asleep on my... Yeah. I was like, you don't even realize
where you're at right now.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the French national team. So I played with the French national team. Then I went to play with Mali, and I still like following. Like, I still have some friends.
Of course.
So yeah. I'm a big fan of them.
That's amazing, man. Honestly, dude, like, you have an incredible story, and it hasn't stopped, and your journey's still going. So credit to you and your work ethic, your mentality, and I wish you the best, man. And I hope to see you at TST so we can catch up in person and kick it, man. But seriously, man, like, just talking to you, it's what I enjoy, because it helps me reminisce in the moments and the struggles and all the ups and downs that we've come across. That it helps us push and to continue to keep working harder and to keep dreaming, to keep that dream alive. So credit to you, bro.
And the thing is, like even right now, I'm 30 odd and I still feel the same. I'm like, what's happening to me? Like, it's like
because it's like you just take more. You're more aware of, like, how good you need to do things.
Yeah,
like how important things affect you, and you're just like I said. I feel like I could play another couple of years, no problem. It was more of the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not moving around. I'm going to be based here in Florida for my family and this and that. But I still feel strong. I still fit my mind, like everything. And I'm like, I love it. It's awesome. You know?
Football.
So that's football, bro. I love it, dude. Well, thank you for taking the time today. I appreciate you, bro. And I look forward to having you on again, man.
Yes, you're the man, Sako.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Keep me posted. Let me know. We'll catch up for sure. And yeah, man, I'm pumped for you, bro.
Thank you, guys.